Well, good morning, everybody. I'm Jan Erickson from Stepping Aside, and welcome to As Above, So Below, a rune and tarot divination for Friday, the 26th day of November, 2021. Well, I hope you had a good day yesterday, a good turkey day, if you celebrated. We cooked a 16-pound turkey and had let's see, we had potatoes from the garden, and I cooked some gluten-free stuffing. Um, had a little hawthorn wine that my husband made from the hawthorn berries from our hawthorn trees, and it was lovely. We didn't do a big meal. We never do. You know, we're more focused on the turkey sandwiches afterwards, and so we did our walk and then came back in and of course ruined all that by having a turkey sandwich, but that's okay. It was fun. We got to have a one of those Google meeting calls with our grandchildren. That was above everything else. That was the absolute best. So I hope you had a good day, and no matter how you celebrated it. And as promised, I said I would come back today, because normally yesterday was the day we do this, but because of the holiday, we did not. So we'll see how the runes and the cards, what they have to say here. Um, I'm getting ready to pull the rune here, but before I do, I should mention what the esoteric influences are today. I do this once a week. I publish it out onto a newsletter on Saturdays, but then it goes up on the blog for Sunday. And basically, it involves let's see, the numerology for the day itself. So today that would be an 8. 2 and 6 is 8. So 8 is the numerology. Kenaz was the Elder Futhark rune. Emissio, the light of spirit, the torch. Emissio, or loss or decrease or hesitancy. That was the geomancy rune for today that I pulled. The sun is in Sagittarius, the moon is in Leo until it switches to Virgo at 6:12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Let's see. I also give the human there's part of it part of the reading itself is part of the human design influences for the day. So I look at that chart. I look at the lunar transits and anything else that I want in there, and then I talk about the numerology and the runes for that particular day and how it all influences together. So anyway, I'll just tell you this right now. Ingu's is the rune for today for this reading. But what I have for the day, how I interpreted today, basically, if you're going to be spending time with family, you're going to have to maintain a higher perspective if you're spending this weekend with them or what have you. Replace any hesitancy to engage with a willingness to let go of past issues, because there can be a lot of triggers, as we know, around family. The idea, though, is you want to have a healthier way of interacting, and so you have to let go of past wounds. And maybe it takes a discussion, maybe it doesn't. Maybe all you have to do is just see it differently. But if you don't, and you need to have a conversation about it, or someone else does, then you want to listen to anything that comes up, all the feelings that get expressed, and then to gently is the operative word here, offer your own perspective on the situation. Ideally here, you cannot change the past, okay? You can't change what happened. You can just see it differently. You can let go of the hurt. You can let go of what happened and simply move on. Well, simply, it's not simple, is it? But then move on into something better. But it takes all parties willing to do that, right? So sometimes that's not going to happen. Sometimes people are going to remain in their own mindset. And so the idea is just to drop resistance to it and don't allow any more hostility. Don't add any more fuel anyway to the fire. We'll say it that way. So either this will be a healing time, or it'll be the time where you bite your tongue. But the point is that if you can at all let things go and let something new develop, that's better. And that's of course supported again by Ingu's, which is Kenaz in all directions, or rather turned inward from all directions, not in all directions externally. But basically exploded, it looks like this. And it's Kenaz, letting the light of spirit influence your perceptions. so that something new can grow. That's the spiritual side of it. Otherwise, we're looking at ingus as the seed of new potential, the seed of new growth, the seed of new development, the sudden release of source presence energy or into manifestation. So the creative spark released suddenly into manifestation. Just think about when a seed is germinating and then all of a sudden it explodes into life and something starts growing, the plant starts growing out of it. It's that kind of sudden release of energy. Now, the geomancy rune for the day, let me move my cards. We'll find that out here. Oops, let's not knock over the T in the process. It looks like it's Fortuna Major. So yeah, letting the creative potential expand and release into something brand new is really what you want to do today. And so that's Fortuna Minor. Let me find Fortuna Major. All I have to do is turn it upside down and I'll have that. So if I don't see it right off the bat here, well, where is it? Oh, there it is. Okay. The fine print. That's Fortuna Major. This is greater fortune. Success, it's completion, it's leadership, conversely, the downside of it is you can be a little micromanaging. You can try to control things when maybe you ought to let other people control their own reality. but at the same time, it generally means greater success or greater fortune. So, which can typically come from the expression of new potential, right? So again, if this is relating to your interactions with friends and family so far this weekend, this holiday weekend, if you're still there, then the greater fortune is in healing that, I would think, and letting something brand new develop between you. Let go of the tension, let go of the past, make the apologies that need to be made. If someone can't do that, then you can't internalize that as a wound. You have to see that as their difficulty and not yours. So it can't be, as much as it might sadden you to have that person not see you, it's really not about not seeing you in the way they need to. It's that they can't release their own stranglehold on something that isn't workable. So it's on them at this point, especially stuff from the very past, or the distant past. Maybe something that took place in childhood that it tends to hang on, doesn't it? It just hangs on, and that's not a good thing. So we're going to release our potential then for something greater to happen, something more positive and successful, and abundance oriented perhaps. And again, abundance can be described various ways. It's not just financial. It's not just something like that. It's again, our relationships with one another. So let's take the cards and see what we have. Well, I think that this definitely, that's kind of amazing. We have Temperance, the 14th card of the Major Arcana. And then we have the Two of Cups, and then we also have the Ace of Cups. So again, we're talking about emotions. With Temperance, we're talking about balancing fire with water, so the will with emotions. Here, though, we have the sun coming up along this winding path down to the water's edge. And again, because it's coming up between two peaks, it's the sense of balance happening. But it's balance based on clarity and understanding. Again, if someone can't apologize to you, it's their own difficulty. And as much as it might hurt your feelings, you have to understand that it's their problem. And that is such a tough thing to do. Your own emotions have to come into balance when you do that. But Temperance is about moderation. We see the angel pouring water from one chalice to the other. We see the lovely water irises over here. I have some growing around my pond and up in my irrigation ditch. They're just lovely in the summertime when they start blooming. Potential, I say. Potential for abundance. To keep the will, the fire element, in balance with emotions and empathy and understanding. You want to use the fire element to bring clarity. That's why you see the sun right here. That's why it's also part, of the Kenaz and turned inward in all directions here with Ingus. It's the light of source presence coming in and infusing that and building it, building it, building it till it explodes in new potential. Well, it's not ego-based, it's source presence-based. And so you're using the light of spirit, basically, to bring your will in balance with emotions here with temperance. Having a little bit of moderation. Now, there's a 5 energy to this, 5 numerology or 5 energy with this numerology of the card. 14, 1 and 4 is 5, so you're looking at change, you're looking at protection, you're looking at creativity, the balance of freedom versus restriction. The angel has 1 toe in the water and 1 toe on the land. So there's a little bit of earth element here in manifestation. But also involved then is the 2 of cups, where we see 2 people coming together, kind of separating themselves out away from their home. There's this line of demarcation here. And they're coming back in terms of healing. And you see the wings on the angel are the same as the wings on the lion's head here and the caduceus. This is the sign of healing, but it's invoking the will to come together in love and understanding and reciprocity and healing and balance. I mean, realistically, this is an incredible card of abundance, and I think it aligns well with Fortuna Major. And I love how he's reaching out a hand to her, initiating the process, taking a step toward her in his love for her, while she stands here remaining receptive, ready to hear what he has to say, ready to forgive, ready to understand. So in a sense, this is very much like balancing fire and water, isn't it? If you look at the male presence, the projective presence as the fire, and the female, the fire. Well, in fact, we'll include both fire and air over here, which are active principles, and then earth and water over here, which would then be receptive presence. You can look at this as balanced polarity. So there can be an inner focus to this as well. You have to balance the will with understanding in order that you can then come together with someone else and heal. So whether this is interactive with others or just what's taking place within you, it's all the same thing, really. All of which leads to a new emotional beginning. Here we see the dove of peace dropping the little sun disk in here. Oh, I thought that was going to freeze on me, but it kept going. It did for a minute. So if it kind of looks a little jumpy, that's what just happened. It kind of stopped a little bit, but it's going again. Yay, I don't have to start over. But here we have the, I'll say it again in case it blipped during when I was talking. Here we have the dove of peace dropping a little disc into the chalice. And we see a cross there. Now, how I've interpreted that in the past, I'll show you that very quickly. We have Spirit at the top. Well, here, let me take a different piece of paper. Let's try to do it on the same one. When you look at the cross, this is not a medical cross. It's not a religious cross. This, to me, defines the directionality of the soul's presence. So you have the Spirit up top. You have form down below. You have masculine or projective energy on the right and feminine or receptive energy on the left. And ideally, we should be right in the center. But where we typically are is somewhere down here, where the X is. You see that? So in order to bring all of that into balance, though, that's what it takes to really heal. We see a hand reaching out from the cloud holding a large golden chalice. And with the dove dropping the cross into the water, you see the water pouring out and nourishing the emotions below. This comes from spirit. It's not ego. We're not going to find that healing in ego. With ego, we vie for position. With spirit, we understand the bigger picture. And that's what I mean when I said earlier about the triggers that come up and dropping your expectations of other people. Be realistic in them. Understand that they have their own battle to fight. And they may not be in the same place you are if this is about you and someone else, you and Uncle Charlie, who was mean to you as when you were little, it's like, come on, man, I've grown up. I'm successful. I'm blah, blah, blah. I did amount to something, and your words hurt me, and you can let that go now, Uncle Charlie. Well, maybe Uncle Charlie can't, because Uncle Charlie's so stuck in his own ego and, so gnarled up inside that he can't drop resistance enough to just see that it's okay now. You're there to forgive. It's going to be okay. So there could be this massive fear, because that's usually it's fear-based, that's keeping him from dropping his own resistance and coming into that healing moment with some better expectations, both of you and of himself, see? But I don't know if you have an Uncle Charlie. I don't, but you never know. You might. My kids do. And anyway, so I guess there is one in our family. But I personally don't have one. But that's what we're doing here. We're offering a new level of understanding that's based upon higher awareness, that's allowing Ingus to drive that whole experience so that in the end, we have the emotional abundance and the emotional Fortuna Major that we've been looking for. And if we can't, and realize, here's the thing, if you can't get that from someone else, you at least need to derive it from within. And that's where stepping back and seeing the bigger picture, bringing that cross, your awareness of the cross to the center point instead of being down here, where ego's informing most everything. That's where that I think is going to come into play. And I think that it begins here with the energy of Ingus, resulting in some greater fortune. Even if it's just the greater fortune of putting it all into place and putting it all into perspective for yourself and letting go of the trauma that happened when you were younger. Or, it doesn't even have to happen when you're younger. This could be a result of a really difficult moment you've had with someone that you care about, and irrespective of when it happened, but it's affecting you, and it's you don't need it. You've got to see it for what it is. If you've done something that needs an apology, then make it, and they'll either accept it or they won't. But the bottom line is you've brought your awareness to a place that it needs to be, irrespective of anyone else. And just knowing that one thing can make all the difference in terms of the potential you have at that point, because you don't have anything holding you back at that point. So anyway, I said this would probably be about Thanksgiving, and I guess I was right. although it doesn't have to apply to Thanksgiving. It can apply to anything, I think. But anyway, that's it. I guess we've done it. I don't really have anything more to add, and I don't think we need any more cards. So look for the esoteric influences to come out again on Sunday. Watch for I didn't do a forecast yesterday. I was just too busy doing other stuff, so I just decided not to do one. I'll do one today, so you can see what all that looks like for today, all those influences for work and magic today, and just for life. It doesn't have to only be for that, but look for that, and then if you want to sign up for the newsletter, that sign up is that you just put your email in and hit send, and it goes to my newsletter client, and it gathers everybody up and sends it to them when I'm done. You can get the esoteric influences in your inbox on Saturdays, and you can get it ahead of time, and then you can just click on that and refer to it there if you want to. But I guess that's it. I hope you're enjoying Black Friday over at Amazon and everywhere else. I did a couple of posts there on the blog one for Yule gifts for the magically inclined, and then the Black Friday sale at Amazon. There's two posts there over at the blog at imsteppingaside.com. If you want to check those out, if you purchase anything, I'm an affiliate. Anytime you click on a picture or a link on anything I write, it will take you somewhere. You have to know it's going to take you to some place that I'm an affiliate for. And then if you purchase anything, I make a very small commission on that sale. So that helps to defray blog costs and stuff like that. So that if you see linked words in my posts, and I have a little disclaimer up at the top, and other places on my blog, that's really what those are. And I mean, if you probably already know that, but we have to say it anyway. So just know that it's just a way for websites to monetize their website and to offset the costs that there are to actually running the thing. So because there are, and so. Anyway, I know I get these little things like, okay, we're about to charge your card for this. It's like, oh, geez. So anyway, so that's what that is. And so if you want to check those out, Black Friday's today. And I guess it started yesterday. And I ordered some things and that we needed, we were out of. So anyway, that was fun to do. Anyhow. I enjoyed doing those posts. It's always fun to do those because you're focusing in on things that you like to see and maybe you own. The Black Friday Amazon stuff, other than two things, I own all those things, so I have personal experience with all of them. So that's always fun to do too, when you're making recommendations for things that you use in your daily life. That's always fun too. So check those out if you want to. And again, I'm an affiliate for all that. And so I will, if you purchase anything, I'll make a small commission on the sale. So thank you so much in advance, and have a wonderful weekend. And we'll talk again Monday for As Above, So Below. Be good to yourself, especially be good to yourself. Be good to one another, and blessed be.